boys and girls. Yeah, Joshua Reviews. Let's go, Christmas time, baby. Yo, man, like, I got my Christmas present. Got my snowman. I'm ready, man. Christmas. Oh, man. Just, I got it. You know, Christmas, man. I love Christmas. You know, I got all these Christmas movies that I watch every year round. One of my all-time favorites is Christmas Story. Great one. Home Alone, 1, 2. Awesome. Polar Express. Classic. You just can't forget about it, man. Can't fucking forget about it. And then, if It's a Wonderful Life. Man. Good movie. But we're not talking about that. We're not talking about any of those. But it is on the subject of It's a Wonderful Life. It's a Wonderful Knife. Really clever what you did there, guys. Really clever. Yeah. So, for those of you not aware, there was a movie that came out in 2017. You may have heard of it. It's called Happy Death Day. It's a slasher parody of sorts. More comedy, not parody, but more of a, slasher comedy that takes the concept of Groundhog Day and mixes it and throws a slasher in the mix, which I thought was brilliant. I liked it. I liked the movie. It was really good. I even liked the sequel, which in a way kind of was paying homage to Back to the Future, which was really cool. So immediately they struck gold with that idea. And I think a few years later, the director, during COVID, he released another movie similar in concept with that kind of take a property, and turn it and switch it to a horror slasher and movie. And he made Freaky, which was also really good. Arguably a little better than Happy Death Day. And then this year we got Totally Killer, which I haven't seen yet, but I've heard good things. And now, obviously that's, Freaky's parodying Freaky Friday, and Totally Killer's, again, parodying, Back to the Future, another movie. And now you got It's a Wonderful Knife, which is parodying, of course, It's a Wonderful Life. So it's like, okay, I see what we're doing here. I was hyped for it. I'm be totally honest. I was hyped for this movie. Last year I saw Christmas Bloody Christmas, which was a Shudder exclusive that premiered in theaters, side by side with Shudder. And I was like, I don't have Shudder, so I'm gonna go see it in theaters. And I had a blast. I loved Christmas Bloody Christmas. And I didn't watch too much of the trailer because I didn't want to be spoiled. So I only saw the first 30 seconds, and it looked promising. It looked cool. It looked funny. I invited 3 of my friends to go see it. I invited my friend, his girlfriend, and his brother, and we were pumped. We were like a Christmas horror movie in theaters. You don't get those as often as you'd hope. You got Krampus back in 2015, and you got what was it? The remake of Black Christmas in 2019, and Christmas, and that's about it. And now you have this. So I was really let down, guys. I was really let down. This movie's by no means awful, but it's a total letdown on what you'd expect from a concept like this. So take what you know from It's a Wonderful Life, if you don't know what that movie's about. It's about a guy who basically George Bailey, he wants to travel the world. He wants to do all these things, and things get in the way, and he has a truly wonderful life. He has a wife, he has a family, he has a great neighborhood. Great people know him, they love him, and he's got these kids, and everything's just great. And then one day it all goes bad, and he doesn't realize the beauty and the true life that he has. He doesn't realize he has a wonderful life. So he's ready to kill himself, and basically this angel comes down, and Clarence, the angel, he basically shows him what life would be like if he wasn't born, because he wishes he'd never been born. And what they do in this film is the story is similar. Girl wishes she had never been born because a year prior a killer went around and killed a bunch of people. It turns out, this is not a spoiler alert, this is in the trailer. It's the mayor, and he killed people because he wanted to, I guess, do something with the town or some shit. So she has trauma after killing him, and she wishes she had never been born because no one really takes her trauma seriously. But because she had never been born, the killer kept on killing. So that's a cool concept. It's poorly executed. Poorly executed. Honestly, I think the writers came up with the title and just a quick concept and just wrote a script around it. They're like, hey, it's a wonderful night. What if we did that with a slasher? That would be cool. Total Killer and Happy Death Day and Freak. Those made money, right? Let's make this Christmas slasher brilliant. Put it in Shudder. Or put it on Shudder. Put it in theaters. No, I didn't feel it. I was promised a not trashy, but a goofy comedy slasher with probably some heart. What I got was a Christmas rom-com with a killer. The acting is subpar. I mean, honestly, I've seen worse. What was it? Earlier this year, I saw freaking Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which I am planning on reviewing. Stay tuned next month. And, the acting in that film's atrocious, but in a laughable way. The acting in this one's just kind of whatever. The characters are fine, I guess. I like the main lead. She does a good job. She has a lot of, she's the main actress, so of course she has to play these different emotions in the situation, and she does a great job. I will say some moments, I don't think the writing sells it, but the actor sells it. It's one of those things where the writing isn't as sharp as it claims to be. This film's big issue is it thinks it's bigger and badder, and not that badder, but like, you know what I mean? Like it thinks it's really big. It thinks it's this high grand magnum opus. It's really not. A lot of the movie's comedy surprisingly did not work for me. I laughed more at how much they attempted at humor. There's a moment towards the end when it's revealed who is pulling the strings behind the stuff that's going on in the town, and me and my group that I went to see it with, we just started busting out laughing because of the line delivery and how grand and big and wow, the twist. It's supposed to be all this and that, and it just didn't leave much of an impact. This movie surprisingly got really boring midway through. I was like, wait, we've only gotten like a fair amount of kills, but the problem with this film is it's really slow and there's a lot of exposition. And it's one of those things where I think it's like they had a concept, a brilliant concept, but they didn't know what to do in the writing room. So they just wrote a lot of exposition because there's a part in the movie where the main character, she realizes what's happening, and she surprisingly realizes like really late in the film, like about a good 40 minutes in, and the film's only an hour and 27 minutes if memory serves correctly. Like, it's not that long of a film, but surprisingly, it takes a long time for her to realize what has happened. And there's this awkward, shy, nervous girl who, is kind of her friend, not really. Everyone calls her the weird gal or weird girl or whatever. So she talks to her because, she can kind of relate to her. And, she feels like she's the only person she can talk to. And as she's telling the audience what's going on, like word for word, like what the plot is, she's like, wow, this is almost exactly like It's a Wonderful Life. And there's a point like later, like I think like 15 minutes later or something, she says, will you be my George? And then she responds, will you be my Clarence? It's like, okay, that was kind of funny, but the execution isn't well done. It's not well built up. I won't spoil the twist because I know there are a lot of people liking this film, and I won't trash it. I'll just kind of say what I liked and disliked as I'm doing right now. But the twist, like I said, the twist, it goes for this like really big, like, wow, that was a shocker. No, it wasn't. And the writing doesn't help it either. There's like no setup to like this big reveal that they have at the end. And I was like, that's a pretty big twist. Where was any of this set up in like the rest of the movie? Like this was not set up well at all. I would say about the first 30 minutes, I was like really invested in what was going on because it's setting up things. The middle half gets really, there's a lot of exposition dump, and I really did not like all the exposition dump. I mean, it felt it when there's a lot of exposition dump and I notice it, to me, I'm just like, okay, you kind of lost me here. I feel like there's enough in the film to keep me going because the kills were creative. I love the cinematography. The Christmas atmosphere is perfect. 100%. Chef's kiss. I love the atmosphere in this movie. The lights. I think my favorite kill in the film is when the angel, which is what the killer looks like. It's on the cover. The angel sticks a candy cane through the guy's mouth and it goes all the way through. That kill, perfect. But none of I think after that, the kills kind of get tame and people will die. Loved ones will die. The main girl, I forget her name, I'm sorry. I saw this movie last month, so, but her mom dies. It's not her mom, but her mom dies, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, sorry. She dies in the trailer, give me a break. She gets killed, and she literally is like, you don't want to reflect on her? You don't want to acknowledge her death? Your mom? Okay, fine. Go that way. Yeah, this movie just had a cool concept and ultimately just didn't deliver on what it promised. A lot of exposition. A lot of meh kills for, a slasher film. Ultimately, this film just didn't really deliver on what I was expecting it to be. And, don't get me wrong, I've said before, I stopped trying to judge movies by what I expect. But, I mean, this film really suffers from that. It's like you have these expectations and it really just doesn't deliver. It's like, okay, at the very least, be funny. At the very least, have jokes that land. At least have characters I legitimately like. Have a twist that's cool. And it just doesn't deliver on anything, really. There's some cool moments, and it's not awful. It had a clear structure and narrative that I was able to follow, but ultimately it just left me disappointed in the end. Not awful. There were plenty of people that like this film, especially in the LGBT community. So, yeah, you'll probably like that. If you love Christmas rom-coms, especially Christmas rom-com as a slasher, you'll love this movie. So, I'm going to give it a respectful C for Christmas. Yeah, a little disappointing, but, take it for a grain of salt. Better luck next time.